This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Very pleasant good morning. It is 7:06 in Las Vegas, Nevada, and 10:06 up in the lovely colony of Massachusetts, where Charles Moscowitz has his nice little humble abode right there next to the Kennedy estate. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are you?
Dandy.
Hey, guys, you know, there's this big monster headline on Market Watch this morning that GlaxoSmithKline just named a 47-year-old woman CEO. Why is that still news? If somebody can do the job, does it make any difference?
Hardly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why in this day and age we're still talking about that, you know.
Are they only paying her 48% of the last guy?
Oh, you're terrible. Charles, come on. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that's the only reason that there would be a headline that they got her cheap. I mean, there are plenty of women CEOs up here in plenty of very aggressive businesses.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't understand why this deserves a banner headline. I don't know.
I'd like to know the age and sex of the person who negotiated the takeover this morning of a company called Tobira.
Who?
A pharmaceutical company that up until now had a market cap of $90 million. That it looks like has a drug for NASH, N-A-S-H, which is the non-alcoholic fatty liver that is the precursor to
cirrhosis of the liver?
Cirrhosis.
Really?
Of the liver.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The stock was selling at $5. Again, a $90 million market cap.
Okay.
And the takeover price from Allergan
big
was $28 and change. And the stock right now is trading for $30, up a scant 600%. And there's a clause in it that says if they meet certain endpoints, that they will get $48 a share. So last night when everybody went to sleep, it was a $90 billion market cap. This morning when they woke up, it was a $500 million market cap. And if they meet the endpoints, it will be a $1.7 billion market cap.
Wow.
But this is something that NASH is what my wife had, and her liver transplant was, I don't know, I think that the final bill was about $2.1 million.
Oh.
So there's plenty of room for a very expensive drug.
Wow.
And again, this validates what we've been saying for the last 5 years, that this is the way that big pharma replaces their pipeline to new drugs. Same thing happened yesterday with Sarepta. Sarepta was 25, and it traded yesterday as high as 54. It's trading now around 52, 53.
What is it? What is it,
was
guys?
Also up 100%.
They developed eteplirsen.
What? Okay.
Yeah,
what is it?
A MS drug.
Oh, okay.
And it's an orphan drug because the people that are most affected with this particular strain of MS are young boys. But
Really?
they're now talking about off-label uses because it specifically attacks what disables people with motor skills. So now they're talking about, well, possibly Parkinson's, but it's the first really successful MS drug.
Wow, that could be huge. I mean, that is wow. That is
I
absolutely
mean, this
amazing.
is a stock that was $120 that 2 years ago collapsed or started to collapse and was as low as 4, and now it's back to 53. Again, validating the let's let somebody else spend the money and then we'll just buy them.
To develop it, and then
Well,
we
it's the
just
same thing,
swallow them
we
up.
were talking about it with Tim Connolly last week about it's cheaper to go to Wall Street to drill for oil than it is to punch holes in the ground.
Sure. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Well, I'll tell you guys, just in 1 week, our little TV experiment is becoming quite interesting. We've had syndicators calling from Los Angeles and other areas to put programming on WPSL TV. This is going to be very cool. Hopefully by Q1, we'll be fully up and running and stuff like that. In the meantime, we are on YouTube on demand, so it's kind of cool. So this time tomorrow, you'll be able to watch these guys on YouTube. It's very cool on WPSL TV. So, Michael, what is new in Las Vegas outside of having an NFL football team developing a stadium there?
And besides that, a hockey team.
It's a hockey
we
team.
have a new hockey team and a new football team, which really is exciting for Las Vegas, and it should improve the population.
It's going to be fun. I don't think I want to be around McCarran Airport when all the Oakland Raider fans fly in. We saw that in Los Angeles. They may have moved the team, but it didn't make any difference. 20,000 of those zanies will come flying into Las Vegas every weekend. I mean, it's an amazing
it's just
experience.
not that far.
No, it really isn't. I mean, you figure from Oakland, what is it, Southwest was talking about adding it's something like 10 planes on game day for when the Raiders move to Las Vegas. It's very cool. From Oakland
It's probably
to Las
easier
Vegas.
than going from. It's probably easier than going from Fremont to Oakland.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, driving.
Traffic wise? Oh no, you're not kidding. You bet.
I know.
Oh yeah. You bet. So you've talked about a little volatility in the market over the last week in your
Especially
newsletter.
in the drug industry.
Yeah.
The drug industry had been under siege and been going down for 6 months.
Uh-huh.
Finally, good companies like Bristol-Myers BMY had taken it on the chin because of a difficult FDA.
Okay.
Now it appears like the FDA is becoming a little more lenient, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does appear that, but I don't know. I mean, it's you talk to the guys from Skinvisible.
Well, you know what
they're
doing. It looks like what they're doing is that they're going after the low probability, high impact drugs. The things that, the orphan stuff, the things that, while they may look wildly out of line as it relates to the number of people that they will be available to or the number of people that have needs, the orphan drug type things, the special situation type drugs. But those drugs are actually saving those people.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Welcome, Jeffrey Hirsch.
Hi, Mike. It's Jeff Hirsch.
Hey,
Fantastic.
Jeff. Welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Jeff, we were looking at your calendar here for September of 2016, and Michael says you developed this puppy, over a half century ago?
It's been evolving for the past half century. The almanac is now in its 50th anniversary edition, and I am holding my proudly holding my fresh copy of the 50th anniversary Stock Traders Almanac 2017. But the current calendar you guys have, you guys may be looking at on our website, is evolved to something we've been building on, and for I guess about the past decade and a half or so, since about the turn of the 21st century, but we've been producing it in this format.
Very cool. We noticed.
Where can we get it, Jeff?
It's amazing.
Well, it's available to subscribers at StockTradersAlmanac.com. There's a free trial there if you click on it. So if you go to StockTradersAlmanac.com and try to access it, you'll be prompted to either sign in or try a free trial, or you can subscribe. So I guess it would be under alerts, and you'd be looking at the August 25th, 2016, September 2016 strategy calendar. You can either log in or subscribe and look at it.
Now, looking at... Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to reiterate the free trial that's there if you want to.
No,
go for 7 days.
Okay, that's great. Great news. So I notice on your calendar that something's going to happen on Thursday, and there's a little bear on the calendar.
Yeah, there's a couple of bears around that time. Mike was pointing out earlier the GAN days, and I actually heard somebody mention it on Bloomberg yesterday too. The GAN days revolve around the equinoxes and the solstices. Our data, I guess, coincides with that, showing the week period, towards the end of September and the latter part of the week after triple witching. And I think this ends up being impacted a bit by the usual Fed meeting around the third full week of September and the end of the third quarter, window dressing and jockeying for position. So, going into this meeting, we're getting a little pre-Fed drift, as the market, is I guess firming up a little bit this morning, and that's something that we might be getting on the short side going into the end of the week tomorrow, and that's what we advise our institutional clients, and now we're working with the advisor community and our friends at Probabilities Fund Management out in San Diego run several portfolios based on this, and we're just working on that, tweaking those trades a little bit this month as the Fed announcement is due tomorrow.
Now, this is fascinating. I've never heard solstice and stocks mentioned in the same sentence.
Well, I don't really subscribe to that whole astrological thing, but I know that's what there's some of the people that do some of the, with the different new moon things, how it affects the tides and people. I'm not convinced of that, but the seasonal behavior, the regular seasonal behavior of market participants is quite clear. It's illustrated very, very, very clearly in our work. That you see how the masses move in unison throughout the year at different times. You can see the volume dry up over the summer. You see these areas that are consistently strong or weak repeat themselves year in and year out.
That's amazing. Mike, do you have some questions for him?
Yeah, it's just amazing how accurate it is. Is much more right than wrong.
Agreed. That's why it works. That's why we've been able to be around for 50 years. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but any trader or investor that's right 50% of the time or more, and when wrong, cutting losses short, does pretty well.
It's amazing that something like that could be so accurate.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating.
It sure is. It's unbelievable. I love the report. I've been getting it for 20 years. It's the best thing I have.
Yes, Mike is a card-carrying, active subscriber.
Yeah, absolutely.
I made sure you were in good stead, that you didn't need any help after you called. So, Yes, it's a treacherous time of year. We've also got a blog that we've written a few things about. Put up something about the HMI yesterday, the week after Triple Witching. So, you can click on the blog from our website. It's right up in the top. It says blog in the menu bar. Posted on Tumblr at the moment. So you can see a lot of the different things that we've been highlighting and warning people about. We've been cautious as usual this time of the year, so we're patiently waiting to get through this weak seasonal period, expecting a little bit more of a flush out, some lower prices, and then we'll get back in for that year-end rally around either before the election or around it. Yep.
The Stock Trader's Almanac has more detail. It's a book that people can buy. This book is relatively inexpensive. And how do they get this book? And this book has much more explanation of everything.
It does. You can get it everywhere, wherever books are sold. It's available, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all over the place. Or you can get a link to it from our website, stocktradersalmanac.com. Somebody really wants to buy it from me, they could, we'll sell it to you, I guess, probably about half price, $25 plus shipping. But our website's not really geared to sell books. It's for the newsletter. You get a free copy of the Stock Trader's Almanac with a subscription to the newsletter, and there's an offer out there for 50th year. $150 for 1 year, $250 for 2 years. So if you want that, you could just email us or go to the website, and I don't have a.
And what do they email? What is the email address?
info@stocktradersalmanac.com or just
info@stocktradersalmanac.com.
Or if you just go to the website and scroll down and click contact us, and just click one of the email addresses. But info@stocktradersalmanac.com or call us at 845-875-9582.
So, tell us what in your mind, what kind of an effect this year, being such a whacked out election season, is going to have on the market itself.
I think it's been having its usual effect. I mean, on the surface it looks pretty whacked out, but if you dig a little deeper in it, it's not so extraordinary. We've had years when we haven't had a sitting president running for re-election. We've had years where there's been a lot of battle. I mean, not necessarily the last few election cycles, but back in the 60s and things like that. So it's not incredibly, unique or rare. And we're seeing the market behave very typically. It started out quite weak. It was looking, more like a losing incumbent party action, and then it came back and sort of voting for the continuation of the current policies, the devil they know versus the devil they don't. And we're seeing some increased volatility and softness in September here, probably go into next month. And, once the election's settled, we'll probably get a lift off that we've made it through another election cycle. We have a new leader, and everything's okay. And but the year after is where the trouble can begin. Post-election years would be worse under a new Republican than a continuing Democrat, whereas the midterm year promises to be weaker, and under a Democratic administration. At this point, the polls are narrowing, but Wall Street's still voting for Mrs. Clinton, just based upon the incumbent party winning pattern of the market doing better when there's a continuation of existing policy.
Interesting. That is absolutely fascinating. Does a third party come into play at all, or is this just that's just fantasy?
It can. I mean, it's not. There's not as many instances, so to create a trend with so few data points is futile and fallacious. But anecdotally, I think the effect, just from my vantage point, would be net neutral. I think there's plenty of independents or third-party people coming from both sides of the ideological spectrum, so I don't think it favors necessarily Trump or Clinton so much. Whereas back when Perot ran in '92, I think it did have a positive impact, or at least in hindsight, on getting Bill Clinton elected.
Well, it seemed like Perot's campaign was a lot higher profile than this current fellow that's running.
Yeah, and a lot less flaky. What is Aleppo, I guess, was his downfall.
Yeah, yes.
Despite the fact that his answer after the fact made complete sense from a, unbiased ideological standpoint. I mean, working on Syria and dealing with Putin and the Russians, I mean, it has to happen. There's no other way to deal with it. Look who's on the other side of the field, So you got to deal with them, and I think that made sense. Unfortunately, I don't think it helped them, and it won't give him any traction. But
he is a little goofy.
He is. He's kind of a mountain climber.
But his level of goofiness is no worse than Kerry talking about what a great truce he was going to have in Syria that lasted, a day and a half.
Right. I mean, it doesn't bother me. He's a little, spacey, but I think he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. I think he can work things out. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
I think I'd lay odds, against Johnson Weld winning, more than any other bet I could think of right now.
Yeah, well, Weld, actually, I live in Massachusetts, and Weld was a pretty good governor.
They both were.
I would have rather have seen it reversed. Weld Johnson.
But that may be the case, and these guys may not be done. I mean, I've dug into their website and looked at some of their things as a responsible citizen, looking at all the options out there, and they've got some interesting positions and an interesting platform, and it's a lot less buffalo chips than other places.
Well, what was interesting, Mr. Hirsch, is the fact that on 60 Minutes, both Weld and Johnson admitted that they're going to almost have a co-presidency, which I thought was fascinating, and you think, okay, because, hardly anybody knows of Johnson because he's a Western governor, but, I mean, he was a good governor, and that state just exploded under his leadership.
Sure.
Yeah, it's
very much so. I mean, I'd love to see him out there more. I think we need some more, viewpoints and parties, and term limits need to be instilled or installed or voted in all of Congress. I don't think. I mean, the whole professional politician thing is part of the problem.
Well, no matter who wins, I think the topic of term limits, especially for senators, they can't make an entire 50-year career of
Right. I think 2 terms for a senator is plenty, and maybe 3 or 4 for a congressperson.
Yeah, that sounds.
And get back to work.
And cut out the lifetime pension.
Yes, and get back to work and start putting some, putting something back into the economy instead of taking it out. You want to read an interesting book? I read the whole John Adams biography. There's a group of people that knew how to come and go and run a business and come down and take care of governing at the same time. That's what it was meant to be.
Sure, they were
and there were issues
citizens
that they had to address, not made-up issues that were there because they had to pay back somebody for supporting them.
Right. Very true. All right, gents. I appreciate the call. I will be out in Las Vegas for the Traders Expo in November. I'm going to be in Dallas for the money show there, New Orleans Investment Conference. So if anybody wants to come hear the story and see the slides and ask questions and check things out, come visit me.
Well, Mr. Hirsch, why don't you give your website address and how we can get your newsletter?
StockTradersAlmanac.com, and you can subscribe to the newsletter right there. It's pretty clear and simple.
So
Terrific. Thanks so much.
StockTradersAlmanac.com. And, hey, don't forget, the publication is 50 years old. And, boy, I'm just fascinated by looking at this calendar that you've got set up. It's truly amazing. And, welcome back again very soon.
Thank you very much, and please use the book in goodwill.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Is Terry Howlett with us?
Yes,
I
he
am.
is.
How you doing? Good morning, guys.
Hey,
Good
the
morning.
CEO of Skinvisible
Skinvisible.
and Kintari.com. We were just talking about the drug sector a little bit earlier with Charles and Mike. Boy, a lot of stuff going on all of a sudden.
By the way, that Tobria
Yes.
is now trading at $40 based on the fact that there are people who think it's still that they'll make those endpoints for $48 instead of just the $28
Wow.
that the deal was announced for. I mean, I see it going by on the tape.
What's the stock symbol?
TBRA, and the Sarepta is trading at it's 54.65 right now, but I've seen it go by at 56 already. So they're paying above what that one looked like also.
So
Okay, well, it's tough to buy those stocks so high.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't. I don't buy stocks up 50% less.
But Bristol
less
Myers is
500.
sold off,
Right.
and maybe that's a buy, the BMY. And,
Maybe.
of course,
I traded that
Invisible.
one.
Terry
Yeah.
will tell about his new product.
yeah, and Terry can also tell us when his stock's going to hit $54. No, I'm just,
Yeah, sure.
you wish, huh? Oh my goodness.
Terry'd settle for 54 cents.
There you go. Well, let's start over again. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, he's going to get in trouble here. We don't want to do
right.
that. So what's going on with Skinvisible? What's happening?
Well, I think since we last talked, we've had two major press releases.
Okay.
The first one had to do with the distribution agreement for our Kintari line of skincare products for China.
Ooh.
And we have had 2 weeks of visitors here from China. They were here for about 5 days, 6 days I think it was. Yeah, sorry. And then they left and came back again for 3 more days. So we got that one wrapped up, and anyways, it's looking great, and we're all excited about it.
Wow. So how many distributors are you going to have in China then?
Well, what we're doing is, and what they've done is, and this is really interesting. And if our listeners would type in Internet Plus, China has put out earlier this spring a new strategy from a working report. China's pursuing it. What it reads is China's pursuing the Internet Plus action plan that seeks to drive economic growth by integration of Internet technologies with manufacturing businesses. And so they're really pushing all of the 1.6 billion people. We think we're big, and I think of that 1.6 billion.
Wow. Yeah.
People to get on the internet and to do all of their business on the internet as much as possible. So it's an interesting concept they come up with. So they're really driving internet business, and so a number of companies, and we've tapped in now so far 3 companies that have big shopping malls, internet shopping malls, and where the consumer goes to buy all of their goods and services. Not unlike an Amazon, except that these people are all players in it. They're all partners in it. And so as the more sales come in there, the more money they will make as well, because they're all part and parcel of this. A recent one, when we were here, we were talking to them, and they forecast that they will do $50 million in the first year as a brand new startup on the internet shopping mall. Now, what we're doing, how do we fit in the picture? Well, Kintari, it will be the exclusive skincare line, made in America, skincare line on these sites.
Oh, man.
That's a big
great.
thing. They really want that. So we're very excited about that. That concept, the agreement's been signed.
Is there, Terry, is there big aspirational desire for American product there?
Yes.
As opposed to French or,
Well, I wouldn't say as opposed to French or whatever it is, but they who doesn't love America?
Yeah.
Other than Americans, and they love it. And he, as I said, he sources other products at this one company that we signed the agreement with. But as far as the skincare line, it's a big thing. As they, there's the safety of made in America, and for the product. So we're really excited about that, and that will kick in about 45 to 60 days, and we will start shipping from here in Las Vegas to China through their distribution point, their hub in California, in Los Angeles.
So is that going to be what, by quarter one of 17?
No, I think it'll be this fall. Yeah.
Oh, really? That quick?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two of the sites are up and running right now. They're just writing the software to get the orders to us, because of course on these sites they'll sell many products and maybe thousands of products, and the software's been written so that it would download daily to our operation here, and we would ship daily into Los Angeles, where they take care of it from then on. And so it's a very good situation for our company. Now, these people that we're dealing with, this company, we met them a year ago. We traveled to China and met with them when they had presented our product to a different situation that did not go forward. The company did not go forward, not that our product wasn't accepted. And so we've stayed in touch with them, and it's worked out. So we're very, very pleased about this.
Wow, this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Terry, what size are these orders? And I'll tell you where I'm going with this.
Yep.
The company has a market cap of about $1.1 million. So what I'm trying to figure out is how big can these orders be for the company in dollars and cents? I mean, obviously, if you, $1 million order, or let's say $1 million order over a 1-year period, is a lot more meaningful for Skinvisible than it would be for, a company that's market capped at $5 million. Sure. Although even a $5 million company, $1 million order would still be of significance. So I'm trying to just, bring to the forefront how important and how big these orders actually can be for the company.
Well, that's interesting, and your concept is exactly right. And what we're doing, from our point of view, we'll be shipping on a daily basis out of our operation here in Las Vegas. So we won't be shipping pallet loads of product to China. We'll be shipping to California, 20 of these, 30 of these, whatever it is, every day.
Right.
So what we're looking at, I would think, and I hope there's a forward-looking statement here, but our minimum in 2017 would certainly be somewhere in the area of $1 million, probably closer, though, to $2 million in sales. And
what kind of margins do you have on that?
Hello?
I'm here.
I know you are.
Oh.
We have, without getting into all specific, we have very good margins, yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
Let's play it
so
safe,
even
right?
if you only had a 25% margin, that would be
it's greater than 25%.
That would be $250,000 on $1 million, $500,000 on $2 million, and your company would basically be selling for somewhere between 2 and 4 times earnings.
Yeah, the margins.
And at the end of 2017, that would be trailing earnings, not forward earnings, which would be, a ridiculous valuation.
Wow, that's amazing.
Our margins are.
Well, I mean, the story has to be told so people understand it.
Yes.
And clearly, people understand a 2 to 4 times trailing earnings story.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I kind of glean onto is that a company's stock that sells where yours sells, the gains on that stock, and I'm not trying to be too promotional, I'm just telling the story the way I personally see it, the gains are exponential. They're not arithmetic. When you have a stock that sells for a penny and it goes to 2 pennies, that's 100%.
Correct.
When it goes from 2 pennies to 3 pennies, that's not really 50% for somebody who bought it at a penny. That's really 300%, because every penny that it goes up is an exponential gain. not an arithmetic gain. And so the attractiveness of an investment like that, in a company that is real, is a lot different than buying something at $1. That if it doubles, that's fine. If it triples, that's fine. But it's not exponential. It's arithmetic and linear.
Interesting.
So, I think that's, really makes this outstanding. If you believe the story, then, the stock is cheaper than cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think
Terry,
I think on that what you've got. Yes.
The only question I have is Kintari itself. How much of that catalog is going to be available in China?
How much of
the Kintari catalog itself? I mean, how many products that you have, and you've got?
Oh, we have 5 products right now, and all 5 are available and will be sold on there.
That's
Gentlemen,
great.
I have to jump off for a second. I'll be right back.
Okay. Charles is going to start trading now.
Okay. No, they'll all be sold. And back to the question, we do not sell anything on a wholesale basis other than at least a 2 times markup. So
right.
So that would be a minimum that we would earn on any of these products. So if we're doing $2 million worth of business, of course, we're making at least $1 million.
Wow. That's remarkable. I mean, that is really absolutely amazing that you could sign this agreement. Now, you mentioned another press release. What was that?
Well, the other press release we came up with last week was we've been working on with several parties for some time in regards to, again, going back to the Skinvisible technology, which is called Invisicare, it's a polymer development. It's all about delivery of drugs or ingredients to the skin, both topically and transdermally. In this case, initially, all of the Kintari products are all about topical, aren't they? They're all about whether it be an acne product or a sunscreen or an anti-aging product, delivery to the skin. The other agreement you saw, the press release came out, had to do with the marijuana plant, the cannabis. And we've been looking at this for some time, and actually it's funny, a couple of parties came forward to us to do an agreement. We chose one of the parties, and we're doing a development work with them to develop a number of topical applied skincare products for issues that have to do with troubled skin, things like acne, things like psoriasis, eczema. And we're tackling all of these areas. Our space is dermatology. We understand these conditions very well, but we want to see what the marijuana plant, the cannabis, the CBD or THC. We're doing a lot of research on that right now. Which one of these active ingredients could help in those areas? Remember, this is an area that's state by state approval. The FDA is not involved because the federal government haven't approved it, and it's a Class 1 drug, marijuana. So, our agreement with our partner is we're working on developing the products for them. When the products are developed, they will sell them either within the state of Nevada, in our case, or they will license it out to somebody else who will manufacture the products and then take it to all of the dispensaries to put the product in their locations, these topical products. Again, you can't make the product and sell it into another state. You can't go over the borderline. So the concept of the press release explains that they will license out another party in, say, Oregon or Washington State or Colorado who will manufacture the products there, and they will dispense them through all the dispensaries. For instance, in Colorado, there's almost 1,000 dispensaries. So they would take these products and put them in those dispensaries. And our whole goal is to, of course, it's medically, is we will develop everything as we would if it was an FDA-approved product or FDA compliance. In this case, it's not. There's a lot of issues out there on products that are manufactured and don't fall within lines of what they say they are. We will make sure, because we're Skinvisible and because we have the technology, that if we say there's X% of CBD in there, there will be. And when we tell you the release factor, it will be that release factor out of the combination onto the skin to help with that skin condition.
So is there a thought that the cannabis oil can be used for maybe even a better type of treatment, I guess, if you will?
Sure. There's lots of research that's out there right now, a lot of it coming out of Israel on CBD. For some of our listeners, there's the two components in the marijuana plant, CBD, which tends to be more of the healing part of the plant, and THC, which we call the happy one, and all the smokers. That's an area that might be, some of that might be in the products for topical, but we're not looking for anything to be happy. We're looking for it to cure a condition that they might have, or to assist in cure, not cure, I can't use that term, cure.
Treat.
But to treat. Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
Very good.
Yeah, Mike, any questions for Terry? This is amazing. I never even thought about cannabis oil. I mean, you see cannabis purses and stuff like that. I mean, so they can use it for that. But, yeah, that's amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, this product will be available in Nevada.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
That would be the start.
Yes.
It'll start in Nevada once we've developed, and then we'll look to take the same technology, the same manufacturing, the licensing it, and they will license it out into another state. And there's 25 states right now, and of course Canada's open and other jurisdictions around the world. and from our point of view, we know when the practitioner, when the medical director, our medical doctor is saying, "Look, I think you should be on this. You should try this, whatever it might be." We want to be in their eyes as the company. If it says Invisicare on it, that's the product you want. Don't even check with anybody else. When this company says Invisicare's got 3% in there, it's got 3% in there because they got the studies to prove it, and we will guarantee it. So we're really, really enthused about that project, and from a financial point of view, it's very excellent. Our partner pays all the costs to develop, and we share equally, and they pay all the costs to continue to develop their business. But whatever we earn, either it be license fees, sales of product, or royalties, we get 50%.
Wow. That's great. That's great. So there's no developmental costs.
None. No, it's all paid for, yeah.
Wow. That is really, really amazing.
And major players behind this, too, so that's exciting for us.
Well, you see, you just said 25 states. If, say, hypothetically, a year or two down the road that, and I think we've got something on the ballot. I haven't heard much about it, but I think Florida's got something on the ballot for medical marijuana. If the rest of the states come along, then does the FDA get involved after that? How would that work?
I have no idea whether they will or not. As it is, from a federal point of view, as you know, it's a Class 1 drug, and so the states are doing it and developing them, and I guess they're leaving them alone from the medical point of view, and I guess they are in Colorado and Washington State and Oregon from the recreational point of view as well. But I couldn't begin to answer that. That's the federal government position for sure.
Now, next dumb question: what about that? With the Chinese exporter, is that totally off limits?
Well, I would think so. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the approval process is in China. If in fact there's any approved, that I can't answer.
Yeah. Wow. I'll tell you, I think that the Chinese story is massive, and I just, with all the internet problems we seem to have in the United States, just the fact that you said 1.6 billion people are on the web in China, and they don't have problems? I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Well, last summer when we went there, we were there for a week. I mean, it was an eye-opener for us when we flew into Shenzhen, we actually flew Hong Kong over Shenzhen, which is the duty-free port, and that's where Apple computers, all their computers and iPhones are made there. 500,000 employees in one plant.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow. That's amazing. That is amazing.
Unbelievable.
And everywhere we went, all we saw when we were driving on a freeway, everywhere we saw Bentleys, we saw Rolls Royces, we saw apartment complexes going up, and there would be 9 big high-rises up beside the highway. And I would say to the guy, I said, but they look empty. He said, oh, they are empty. We're getting ready for the people. I said, okay.
You know, it's funny, the first time I went to Shenzhen, which is quite a while ago, the only thing that you saw 2 things. You saw the big BMWs, and you saw what essentially were tractors pulling flatbeds with people sitting on the flatbeds. That was the 2 modes of transportation there. There were the guys who owned the factories in the BMWs, and there was the workers and everyone else sitting on the flatbeds, because we were manufacturing a premium and promotion. Punchy, the guy from Hawaiian Punch, we were producing a telephone in Shenzhen, and the workers lived in the factories, and there was one hotel in town, and the road that we were on with those cars and those sort of other, well, let's call them open-air buses, was only a lane and a half wide. So Shenzhen has come a long. Yeah, Shenzhen has come a long way.
Oh, the freeway system
and you only got a one entry, one exit visa, and you had to take a train from Hong Kong to the Northern Territories and then cross over.
Oh, I got to tell you a story about that one, because we're driving in and we've got all the stuff with us, and we're in a van and from Hong Kong over. I guess it took probably about an hour by the time we get in and cleared customs. And I said to one of the fellows with, I said, well, you're border people. Nobody's carrying any guns. How come? He says, Terry, nobody's trying to break into China.
Yeah, right.
It was just cute. But just phenomenal presentation we had when we were there, and opened our eyes. And so we're very excited about that. And Mike had asked yesterday, he said, why don't we offer something, the Kintari product, to our listeners? And I said, what a great idea. So here's what I'd like to say. For the next 3 people, the first 3 people that send a note in, hey, see, I enjoyed the show today, or whatever they want to say, or didn't enjoy it, or enjoyed it, send it to info@Kintari, KINTARI.com, and put down, would they like to have a sunscreen from Kintari, or would they like to have a hand and body lotion? And if they do that, put their address on there and their phone number, we'll ship that out to them.
Great.
Okay, so the first 3 callers, it's info.
You're excluded, Greg.
I was going to say, I was going to just jam the lines. Info at Kintari.
Kintari.com.
Wow.
Terry, here's a somewhat sensitive question.
Yes?
What are you going to do to protect your intellectual property?
Well, the great part, that's a good question, is we have 14 patents worldwide, and we have patents in China. On the Invisicare technology, and we will do everything now that these partners are strong.
I mean, because they're just notorious.
I understand, but these people, this is a public company we're dealing with. They trade.
So they have some skin in the game.
Oh, they have a lot of skin in the game. They're a very big company, and we met not only the director who was here, who we did the deal with, but when we were last year, we met most of the principals, the executive of the company, and a huge high-rise in Shenzhen. And really, really great. So we're going to protect that, and the initial, the Kintari and everything else is excellent, and they're also looking at importing, separate from this agreement, but looking to how we'd get DermSafe approved, and to put it into hospitals, etc., throughout China. And of course, we have ongoing discussions on that too. And could be very exciting.
That's funny. I was going to ask you, is the derm ever going to pop into the picture here? That's amazing. Well, Terry,
we'll be.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was going to say it's part of the 5 products that be shipped to China for the individual use, but this would be in a different situation in a much bigger way. Yeah.
That's phenomenal. That is absolutely phenomenal. Well, hey, keep us informed. 2 great press releases coming out of Skinvisible. And if you want to order any of the products, it's Kintari, KINTARI.com. So, Terry Howlett,
and the stock symbol?
Yep.
The stock symbol is?
SKVI.
SKVI, yep.
Uh-huh.
And I agree with what Gary was saying earlier.
Well,
Unbelievable.
That sounds amazing. Well, thank you very much, Terry. Glad to have you
Thanks,
on
guys.
board. Okay.
Have a super day.
All right. And, Michael,
Bye-bye.
we got some legalities here on Skinvisible.
Yeah, we have represented Skinvisible for many years and got paid to do investor relations. But we're also shareholders and believe in the company. So I really don't have to be paid. I just believe in the company, and they're in Las Vegas. And I think it's very, very inexpensive. I think it's a great buy.
Well,
I really believe in the company.
I would think this whole China thing is just a game changer. I mean, that's absolutely amazing for Terry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mike's beginning to sound like the guy from Remington, isn't he, Greg?
Yeah.
I like the company so much I bought it.
Yes. Oh my. Yeah. Well, Terry, you do have an amazing story, and I think this Chinese thing is just off the charts for you. I really do. It's truly amazing. Charles, any other questions for Terry?
Nope, not a one.
Michael, any other questions?
No, it's a great product, and I'm looking forward to press releases and any more information. The last two press releases are out there, and anybody who wants a copy can email me, Mike at PrincetonResearch.com, and I'll send them out.
And we got a couple minutes left. Talk about your newsletter. I mean, it comes out every Sunday.
It's like 20 pages.
Yep.
And it really covers everything from options on page 1 in Charles Moscowitz's discussion of options to Hirsch's work, which is the calendar on page 16, and then in between there's the schedules that's in Barron's. A lot of people don't realize all the events that are coming out.
And there's also a note every night that gets put out as to what happened in the market. For not everybody spends all day in front of a machine or finds the little snippets that you get on the evening news of the market, or even sometimes it's just a graphic. Market was up, market was down. So we're putting out a daily note every night that comes out sometime between 7 and 10 that explains what happened in the market and what the internals looked like, and sometimes that's very revealing. Yesterday the market was up 120 during the day, finished down on the day, but the advanced declines were 2-to-1 up, as was the volume. So up or down doesn't necessarily tell
Let
the
me
whole
go over
story.
the page by page. Like page 3 is a calendar of a market laboratory of each item: the Dow, the Nasdaq, the S&P, transportation average, all the different indicators. Then on page 4 is a list of stocks that we've had over the last couple of years. Page 5 is trades. In a $100,000 account, we have like a $10,000 theoretical account and a $100,000 theoretical account.
Wow, that's amazing, Mike. We'll have to get to the rest of the pages next week. What a great show, guys. Mr. Hirsch and, of course, Terry Howlett, good friend from Skinvisible. And first 3 listeners, info@kintari.com. You'll get a free either sunscreen or sun cream. How about that? This is WPSL, Port St. Lucie.